Book 6. 1. The substance of the universe is obedient and easily shaped. The mind that governs it has no source of evil within itself. It has no malice, it does no harm, and it damages nothing. Through its guidance, all things come to exist and fulfill their purpose. 2. Play the part that is worthy of you. Do not worry whether you are freezing cold or comfortably warm, whether you are drowsy or well rested, whether people speak well of you or badly, or whether you are dying or doing something else. Dying is just one part of the business of life. In death, just as in everything else, it is enough to do your current task well. 3. Look within yourself. Do not let the true quality or value of anything escape you. For everything that exists will change very quickly. It will either evaporate into thin air if all substance is one, or it will scatter into pieces. 5. The guiding mind knows its own condition, how it operates, and the material it works upon. 6. The best revenge is not to be like the person who wronged you. 7. Find your only joy and rest in moving from one unselfish action to another, while always keeping God in mind. 8. The ruling part of you is the part that wakes up and steers itself. It makes itself exactly what it wants to be, and it makes everything that happens look the way it chooses. 9. All things are completed according to the will of universal nature. There is no other outside nature influencing them, nor is there anything trapped inside or existing independently on the outside. 10. The universe is either a tangled mess of chaos that unravels and tangles again, or it is a unified whole built on order and careful planning. If it is a mess, why would I want to linger in this aimless confusion? Why would I care about anything other than how I will eventually turn back into dust? Why should I be disturbed at all? No matter what I do, destruction will catch up with me. But if the universe is ordered, then I worship the ruler of all things. I stand firm, and I put my trust in him. 11. Whenever a situation forces trouble onto you, quickly return to yourself. Do not let your rhythm be interrupted any longer than necessary. You will get a stronger grip on the harmony of your life if you continually return to it. 12. If you had both a stepmother and a mother at the same time, you would respect your stepmother, but you would always want to spend more time with your mother. Your life at court and your philosophy are just like that stepmother and mother. Return often to your true mother, philosophy, and find your rest with her. Her comfort will make the royal court feel bearable to you, and it will make you bearable to the court. 13. Keep these thoughts in mind when you look at meals and food. This is just the dead body of a fish, a bird, or a pig. This expensive wine is just a little grape juice. Think of your purple robes as nothing more than sheep's wool stained with the blood of shellfish. These concepts touch reality closely. They show the true substance of these objects, which powerfully reveals how little they are actually worth. We should act with this mindset throughout our entire lives. When things of great apparent value present themselves, we should strip them naked. We must look at how meaningless they really are, and toss away the glowing descriptions that make them seem so glorious. Vanity is a great trickster. It fools us most when we think we are doing the most noble work. Remember what Crates said about Xenocrates himself. 14. Most of the things that ordinary people admire can be grouped into certain general categories. First, there are things held together by cohesion or basic biology, like stone, wood, figs, vines, or olives. People with a bit more sense admire things with animal life, like flocks of sheep and herds of cattle. When a person's taste is even more refined, they start to admire things that show rational intelligence. But they do not admire this intelligence as a universal principle. They only appreciate it when it shows up in art, hard work, or sometimes just in the skills of the artists they own as slaves. However, a person who truly values rational intelligence as a universal, social force will not care about any of those other things. Above all else, they will strive to keep their own mind focused on rational, cooperative actions. To achieve this, they will gladly work together with anyone of their kind. 15. Some things are rushing into existence. Other things are rushing to end. Even as a thing is being born, part of it is already dying. Constant change is always renewing the world, just as the endless flow of time constantly brings us new moments of eternity. In this vast river, where nothing ever stops moving, what is there actually worth valuing as it sweeps past us? It would be like falling in love with a single sparrow flying by in a flock, just as it vanishes from sight. Our life itself is nothing more than the vapor of our blood or a single breath of air. Breathing in and out for a moment is exactly the same as the entire ability to breathe, which we got at birth yesterday or the day before, and which we must eventually give back to the source we took it from. 16. It is no great privilege to sweat like plants, or even to breathe the way cattle and wild beasts do. Feeling sensory impressions, being pulled around by your emotions like a puppet, gathering in herds, and eating food to survive, none of this is special. There is nothing in those actions any better than our ability to digest our food and go to the bathroom. What, then, actually has value? Being greeted with applause? No. Therefore, the applause of people's voices is not valuable either, because the praise of the masses is just the empty clapping of tongues. So, throw away the vanity we call fame. What is left to value? I think it is this: in everything you do, you should act, or hold yourself back from acting, in whatever way best fits the specific design of your nature. This is the goal of all arts and studies, because every art tries to make its product perfectly suited for the work it was meant to do. The gardener, the vine dresser, the horse trainer, and the dog trainer all aim for this. What else is the purpose of all education and teaching? This is what you can truly value. If you win this, you will not need to look for anything else. Will you stop valuing that huge pile of other things? If you do not stop, you will never achieve freedom, self-sufficiency, or peace of mind. You will never escape feeling jealous, suspicious, and competitive toward the people who have the power to take away your favorite things. You will always be plotting against the men who own the things you desperately want. A person who lacks these external things will inevitably be distracted and will constantly complain against the gods. But having respect and reverence for your own intelligence will bring you into agreement with yourself, into harmony with mankind, and into alignment with the gods. You will praise them for all their good gifts and guidance. 17. Up, down, and around in circles go the paths of the physical elements. But the path of virtue is not like any of these. It follows a more divine route, moving forward accurately in a way that is hard for us to fully understand. 18. People are so strange. They refuse to speak a single good word about the people they actually live with. Yet, they consider it a massive achievement to win the praise of future generations, people they have never seen and will never see. You might as well be upset because you cannot hear the praises of your ancestors. 19. If something seems very difficult for you to accomplish, do not assume it is impossible for a human being. But if you see that something is within human power and part of human duty, trust that you can achieve it too. 20. If someone scratches us with their nails in the gym, or accidentally headbutts us, we do not get angry. We are not offended, and we do not spend the future suspecting them of plotting against us. We keep our guard up around them, sure, but not as if they were an enemy or someone untrustworthy. We just good-naturedly stay out of their way. Let us act like this in all other areas of life. We should overlook the many injuries done to us by our opponents in the great gymnasium of the world. As I said, we can keep our distance, but we must do it without suspicion or hatred. 21. If anyone can prove to me that I am wrong in my thoughts or actions, I will gladly change. I am looking for the truth, and the truth has never hurt anyone. What actually hurts a person is stubbornly staying stuck in their own mistakes and ignorance. 22. I simply do my duty. I am not distracted by anything else, whether it is lifeless, irrational, or has lost its way and wanders in ignorance. 23. Treat animals and all material things with a generous and free spirit. This attitude is fitting for someone who has reason when they are dealing with things that do not have reason. But toward human beings, who do have reason, act with a cooperative and social spirit. In every task you take on, ask the gods for help. Do not worry about how long the task will take. Even 3 hours spent doing this is enough. 24. Alexander the Great and his mule driver ended up in the exact same condition when they died. They were either both absorbed back into the original source of all things, or they were both scattered apart into atoms. 25. Think about the countless physical and spiritual things happening inside every single one of us at this exact moment. If you do, you will be much less surprised by the vastly greater number of things, literally everything that exists, happening all at once in the unified whole we call the universe. 26. If someone asked you how to spell the name Antoninus, wouldn't you carefully pronounce each of the letters for them? If they then started an angry argument about it, would you get angry back? Or would you just gently count out the letters to them again? Remember that in life, every duty is made up of a bunch of smaller pieces. We need to observe all these pieces calmly. Without getting angry at the people who are angry with us, we should just get to work and finish the task in front of us. 27. Isn't it cruel to stop people from chasing what they think is good for them? Yet, in a way, you are denying them that exact freedom whenever you get angry at their mistakes. People are naturally drawn to what they believe benefits them. Yes, you might say, but they are wrong about what benefits them. Well, then teach them. Make the truth obvious to them, but do it without getting angry. 28. Death is the end of sensory input, the end of emotional impulses, the end of the mind's endless questioning, and the end of our slavery to the flesh. 29. It is a shameful and dishonorable thing for a person's soul to give up on its duty while their physical body is still holding strong. 30. Be careful not to turn into a Caesar. Avoid that stain, because it can happen to you. Protect your simplicity, your goodness, your honesty, your dignity, and your quiet nature. Hold on to your love of justice, your devotion, your kindness, your affection for your family, and your dedication to your duty. Try as hard as you can to stay the kind of person that philosophy meant you to be. Respect the gods and help humanity. Life is short. The only true fruit of living in this world is a pure mind and unselfish actions. In everything you do, be a student of Antonine. Copy his constant dedication to rational action, his balanced calmness, his godliness, and his peaceful face. Copy his sweet temper, his total lack of vanity, and his intense drive to truly understand things. Remember how he never dropped a subject until he had completely examined and understood it. Remember how he patiently dealt with people who blamed him unfairly, never shouting back in anger. He was never in a rush. He shut down gossip and slander. He carefully studied how people behaved and acted. He was incredibly cautious about criticizing anyone. He was completely free from fear, suspicion, or false logic. He was happy with very little when it came to his house, his furniture, his clothes, his food, and his servants. He worked incredibly hard and was incredibly slow to anger. He ate so simply that he could work until evening without needing to use the restroom, except at his usual time. Think about what a solid and loyal friend he was. He cheerfully accepted people directly disagreeing with him, and he was thrilled if someone could show him a better way. He was deeply religious, yet entirely free from superstition. Follow in his footsteps, so that when your final hour arrives, your conscience can be as clear as his was. 31. Sober up and get your senses back. Shake the sleep off, and realize it was only a dream that was upsetting you. Now that you are wide awake again, look at this waking world exactly the same way you looked at the dream. 32. I am made of a fragile body and a soul. To the body, everything is indifferent because the body cannot tell things apart. To the mind, everything is indifferent too, except for its own actions. Those actions are entirely under its control. But even then, the mind only cares about the actions it is doing right now. Its past and future actions are completely indifferent to it today. 33. Hard work for a hand or a foot is never against nature, as long as the hand or the foot is doing what it was made to do. In the same way, hard work is not against human nature, as long as a person is doing the work humans were meant to do. And if the work does not go against their nature, it cannot be a bad thing for them. 34. Think of how many intense pleasures have been enjoyed by robbers, perverts, murderers, and tyrants. 35. Have you ever noticed how everyday craftsmen will try to keep their customers happy up to a point, but they still stubbornly stick to the rules of their craft and refuse to break them? Isn't it pathetic, then, that an architect or a doctor shows more respect for the rules of their job than a human being shows for their own reason, which they share with the gods? 36. Asia and Europe are just tiny corners of the universe. The whole ocean is just a drop of water. Mount Athos is just a clump of dirt. All of the present moment is just a split second in eternity. Everything is small, changeable, and constantly fading away. Everything comes from the universal intelligence, either directly or as a side effect. This means that a lion's jaws, poison, and all nasty things like thorns or mud are just side effects of what is grand and beautiful. So, do not imagine that these ugly things are foreign to the universe you worship. Instead, keep the true source of all things firmly in your mind. 37. Anyone who has seen the present moment has seen everything that has ever happened in all of eternity, and everything that will ever happen in the future. All things are exactly the same in their kind and in their form. 38. Frequently think about how all things in the universe are connected, and how they relate to one another. In a way, everything is woven together, which means everything is naturally friendly to everything else. One thing follows right after another in perfect order, thanks to local movement and the harmony and unity of the entire whole. 39. Adapt yourself to the circumstances your destiny has given you. Love the people you are fated to live with, and love them with genuine affection. 40. A tool, an instrument, or a utensil is in good shape when it does the job it was made for, even though the person who made it is no longer there. But with the living things created by nature, the power that made them stays inside them. Because of this, you should respect that power even more. Believe that if you live according to its will, everything will happen to you logically and reasonably. After all, the universe arranges everything through reason. 41. Whenever we decide that something outside our control is either good or evil for us, we set ourselves up for trouble. If that evil happens to us, or if we miss out on that good, we inevitably blame the gods. We also hate the people we know or suspect are responsible for our disaster or our loss. Worrying so much about these external things makes us act incredibly unfairly. But if we decide that the only things that are good or evil are the things we actually control, there is absolutely no reason left to accuse the gods or hate other people. 42. We are all working together on one massive project. Some people know what they're doing and understand it, while others do it blindly and without any plan. I think this is what Heraclitus meant when he said that people are working even when they are asleep, cooperating in everything that happens in the universe. Everyone contributes in a different way. Even the people who complain, fight back, and try to block the course of nature are contributing heavily. The world needs people like that, too. So, it is up to you to decide which group you want to belong to. The presiding mind of the universe will definitely use you for a good purpose one way or another, and it will draft you into its army of workers. Just make sure you do not end up playing the cheap, trashy comic relief part in the play that Chrysippus talked about. 43. Does the sun try to do the rain's job? Does the god of medicine try to do the goddess of agriculture's job? What about all the different stars? Aren't they all different, yet all working together toward the exact same goal? 44. If the gods sat down and made a plan for me and what should happen to me, I am sure it was a good plan. It is hard to imagine gods lacking foresight, and why would they ever want to hurt me on purpose? What benefit would that bring to them or to the universe they care so much about? If they have not made a specific plan just for me, they have definitely made a plan for the overall good of the universe. Therefore, I should cheerfully and happily accept whatever fate comes out of that larger plan. Now, if they do not make plans for anything at all, which is an evil thing to believe, then we should just stop our sacrifices, our prayers, our oaths, and all the religious things we do under the assumption that they are alive and moving among us. But let's assume the gods do not care about my personal affairs. I can still think for myself. It is my job to figure out what is actually good for me. And what is good for any person is whatever fits their own nature and design. My nature is rational and social. As Antoninus, my city and my country is Rome. As a human being, my city is the world. Therefore, the only things that can actually benefit me are the things that benefit both of these cities. 45. Whatever happens to an individual is beneficial to the whole. That fact alone should be enough. But if you look closer, you will also see a general rule: whatever happens to one person is ultimately beneficial to the rest of humanity. We should understand beneficial here in a broad sense, referring to things that are normally considered indifferent. 46. In the arena and other entertainment venues, seeing the exact same shows over and over again eventually gets boring. Our entire experience of life is exactly the same way. From beginning to end, everything is the same, and everything comes from the same source. When will it finally be over? 47. Constantly think about all the people who have died and passed on. Think of people from every background, every profession, and every nation. Think back to Philistion, Phoebus, and Origanian. Work your way down through other generations of the dead. We all have to pack up and go to the exact same place where so many brilliant speakers, ancient philosophers like Heraclitus, Pythagoras, and Socrates, and countless heroes have already gone. Millions of generals and kings have followed them. Add to that list people like Eudoxus, Hipparchus, Archimedes, and other sharp, intense, hard-working, clever, and arrogant minds. Include the people who sarcastically mocked this brief, fading mortal life, like Menippus and his friends. Remember that all of them have been in their graves for a very long time. And what is so bad about that for them? What is so bad about it even for the people whose names have been completely forgotten? There is only one truly valuable thing in life, spending it on a steady path of truth and justice, while treating even liars and unjust people with kindness. 48. When you want to cheer yourself up, think about the great qualities of the people who live around you. Notice the energy of one person, the modesty of another, the generosity of a third, and the other good traits of everyone else. Nothing brings as much joy to the heart as seeing clear examples of goodness in the characters of the people around us. The more examples, the better. So, let's keep those examples right in front of us to think about. 49. Are you upset that you only weigh a normal amount instead of 300 pounds? If not, then why would you be upset that you will only live for a certain number of years and no longer? You are completely satisfied with the amount of matter you were given, so you should be just as satisfied with the amount of time you were given. 50. Try to convince people to agree with you. But whether they agree or not, keep moving forward on your chosen path whenever justice points you in that direction. If someone uses force to stop you, accept it peacefully. Do not show that you are hurt. Use the roadblock as an opportunity to practice a different virtue. Remember that your original plan always included the understanding that you cannot achieve the impossible. What were you really trying to do in the first place? You were just trying to make a good, honest effort. Well, you succeeded in that, even if you did not accomplish your original goal. 51. The arrogant man places his happiness in what other people do. The pleasure seeker places it in his own physical feelings. But the wise man finds his happiness in his own actions. 52. You always have the power to simply have no opinion about something, and to keep your mind completely at peace. Material things do not have any magical power to force opinions into our heads. 53. Train yourself to pay close attention to what other people are saying. As much as you can, try to actually get inside the mind of the person speaking. 54. Whatever is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bee. 55. If the sailors curse their captain, or the sick people curse their doctor, who else are they going to listen to? How is the captain supposed to keep the crew safe, or the doctor supposed to heal the patients? 56. How many people who came into this world at the exact same time as me have already left it? 57. To someone with jaundice, honey tastes bitter. To someone bitten by a rabid dog, water is terrifying. To a little boy, a ball is the most amazing thing in the world. Why, then, am I letting myself get angry? Do you really think a false belief in the mind is any less powerful than a little extra bile in a sick person or a little poison in a dog bite? 58. No one can stop you from living according to the design of your own nature. And nothing can ever happen to you that goes against the design of the universe's nature. 59. Think about what kind of people they really are. Think about who they are trying to impress, what they expect to get out of it, and the shady ways they go about getting it. Think about how quickly eternity will swallow everything up, and how much it has already swallowed. End of Book 6.